From downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Rain and thunder making an early entrance. Afternoon showers and soakers to follow.
And more arrests made in connection with the concert bombing in Manchester, England, as investigators reveal they now believe that the bomber was part of a larger network. And a man and a woman killed when a group home catches fire on Detroit's east side, and investigators believe it's arson. Thanks so much for joining us this noon. We do begin with breaking news out of Dearborn, where construction crews have hit a gas line. This is near Evergreen and Hubbard Drive. Because of the leak, the Henry Ford Hospital dialysis center in that area has been evacuated, and patients are now being treated outside. Keep it right here with Local 4 and click on Detroit. We'll continue to keep you updated on the status there throughout the afternoon. Meanwhile, developing this noon, investigators suspect that arson at a group home this morning on Detroit's east side is responsible for taking the life of a 60-year-old man and a 59-year-old woman. Another woman was also taken to the hospital. Jason Colthorpe is live outside of the home on Lakewood Street with the very latest on the investigation. What a tragedy that unfolded there, Jason.
It really is, Rhonda, and you look at, you can see the damage. This is a group home for what neighbors say, people with various disabilities, cognitive disabilities. 7 people lived in this home, and as I say, look, you can see the damage. Fire investigators believe it started and was most intense in the living room right here. And if this was arson like they're suspecting, if it was a Molotov cocktail like neighbors suspect, it possibly could have started right here as they threw it in through that window. The call came in at 11:27 last night, and the first man on the scene reported how serious it was.
He reported heavy fire out of every window on the first floor and involving the second floor. There was a woman lying in the front yard.
A neighbor who shot this video on her phone described the chaos.
It was bad. It was bad. Yeah. People jumping out of the windows and whatnot, trying to get out. Fire department, they had to bust the front lock off just to, get in and put the fire out. I don't know, they just jumped out the window like they had to. They had no choice. Either live or die, so.
Of the 7 people in the home, 2 did not survive and were declared dead on the scene.
They found 2 victims. Both were on the second floor. One was in the hallway, one was in the back bedroom. They were burned beyond recognition, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously kind of a shocking discovery for firefighters as they got here and tried to fight this fire. Now, we talked with some other neighbors about the group home specifically and how some strange, one neighbor saying he wasn't surprised this happened, saying this also wasn't the first fire here. We're going to get into that later today on Local 4 News. Rhonda?
Very troubling, Jason. And how about the other woman that was taken to the hospital? What's her status?
She's also in her 60s. She was, the way the fire investigators described it to us was that this was more stress related. That was kind of the problem with her. She was taken there for observation, but she's expected to be okay.
Oh, certainly a scary ordeal. Jason, thank you. The investigation into Manchester is expanding this noon. We now know that the suicide bomber who killed 22 people after that Ariana Grande concert was part of a network and not a lone wolf attacker. Today, raids were carried out all across the city. 3 men were detained in connection with the case, bringing the total in custody now to 4. Intelligence sources say that Salman Abedi, the suspected bomber, had known connections to ISIS. Since it's believed Abedi was part of a larger cell, the terror threat in Britain has now been raised to its highest level. Police have arrested a brother of Abedi, but are still searching for a second brother who may have ties to the attack. Switching gears here, let's get over to Brandon and talk about the forecast for today. With this threat of rain, the skies are certainly starting to look a little ominous, Brandon.
And temperatures are responding. We were near 70 degrees the last couple of hours. Now we've fallen down as the clouds have thickened a little bit. 65 degrees, that east wind at 13, also a little bit of a cooling factor. If you had switched that camera shot around, instead of looking at the Detroit skyline, looking backwards down through southern Ontario, look at the rain showers coming here. A lot of the lightning has fizzled out, but some of these soakers down in Monroe County, boy, oh boy, this can lay down a quick quarter of an inch here and create some pooling and ponding. Be careful down in Monroe County driving I-75 south. As we see this one little batch coming up, there's more gaining strength over Columbus and Pittsburgh. Those will be pivoting in, so scattered about through the afternoon, and the bulk of the activity coming in here as we head into this evening. So keep that in mind. Scattered rain and thunder showers, very widely scattered here over the next several hours. And again, Rhonda, it gets a lot more organized tonight. We'll take a closer look and into your Thursday.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Today, President Trump met with Pope Francis at the Vatican earlier. The two shared a 30-minute private conversation. And as NBC's Kristen Welker reports, the two talked about the president's plan to build a border wall.
President Trump was asked about his extraordinary meeting with the Pope.
He is something. He is really good. We had a fantastic meeting and we had a fantastic tour. It was really beautiful.
These two leaders couldn't be more different. The Pope lives a modest lifestyle. President Trump is more lavish. But today they really tried to find common ground. According to the Vatican, they discussed a range of topics which included immigration, healthcare, the persecution of Christians, areas of agreement. But what is also striking is the extent to which the two of them have disagreed and clashed openly in the past. One of the main issues and points of contention was then candidate Trump's proposal to build a border wall. The Pope saying that anyone who wants to build a wall and not bridges is not Christian. That prompted a sharp rebuke from then candidate Trump, who called it a disgrace to question someone's religion. But there was a light moment today. The Pope really lit up when he met the First Lady, and he asked her if she feeds the president potiza. That's a Slovenian dessert. She laughed and said she feeds him pizza. It was a real moment of levity. And today, none of those disagreements were on display. This was about the optics, positive optics that could help the president turn the page on a number of controversies that he's battling back at home. His next stop, Brussels, for the NATO summit. Traveling with the president in Rome, Kristen Welker, NBC News.
Thank you, Kristen. And happening right now in Washington, Michigan native and U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos is testifying on President Trump's budget. She is tasked with explaining a spending plan that has drawn criticism from both ends of the political spectrum. President Trump has proposed slashing $10.6 billion from federal education initiatives and reinvesting $1.4 billion of the savings into promoting his top priority, which is schools of choice. On Detroit's east side this noon, the search for a suspected thief is underway. Police say that this man walked into a business on the 3400 block of East Jefferson Avenue near Mount Elliott and stole several cell phones and cases. It happened earlier this month. No one was hurt during the crime, but police need your help in finding the person responsible. If you have any information, you can make an anonymous call tip to Crime Stoppers at 800-SPEAK-UP. The trial continues for the man accused of hitting and killing Michigan State Trooper Chad Wolf. 70-year-old Charles Warren is accused of hitting the trooper on I-75 back in August of 2015. If convicted, Warren faces up to 15 years in prison. More testimony is taking place this afternoon, and you can watch that trial live on clickondetroit.com. The Sistine Chapel Choir will soon make an historic trip right here to Detroit. The choir, also known as the Pope's Choir, will perform at the Detroit Opera House. The performance is part of a 3-city tour. It's scheduled for September 23rd. It will be the world's oldest choir's first time performing in Detroit. If you want to be there, tickets go on sale May 30th at 10 a.m. A powerful tornado rips through a North Carolina town. A new video captures the moment when the town was hit with 110-mile-per-hour winds. And a runaway SUV crashes right into a deck of a home. Why two parents could now face charges for what happened. But first, violence erupts at a fast food drive-thru. What a woman is accused of doing after a car cut in front of her.
There was a time that if you were an amputee with a prosthetic hand, arm, foot, or anything, it was very difficult for you to get a job, get a girl or a guy, be accepted. But all of that has changed with bionics and the change in technology. Today at 4 on First at 4, come with us as we go on the search with a local man for his new arm and hand. And the technology will blow you away.
Welcome back, everybody. A quick stop for food goes horribly wrong. This is what unfolded at a McDonald's in Washington, D.C. The troubling situation began because of an argument over who was first in line at the drive-thru, believe it or not. Police say that a woman thought that the spot in the drive-thru was hers, so she threw a brick through another woman's window. That brick hit the woman in the head. She's expected to be okay, but speaking out about her ordeal.
I didn't fight back. I didn't do nothing. I waited for the police to arrive, and they took care of the situation from there. It wasn't that serious. Like, it's just McDonald's.
It is not that serious. No word on if any charges will be filed. Thankfully, she's okay. Video captures the moment that an SUV with 2 children inside crashes right into a home. Now, it happened yesterday in Pennsylvania. A couple, they were leaving their home when their SUV stalled on the street. They both got out of the vehicle and started pushing it, but it started rolling faster and faster down a hill. They started chasing after it because no one was in the driver's seat and their kids were in there. In the back seat, they left their 2 small children. The children were taken to the hospital after the crash through a person's deck. No word, though, on if any charges are going to be filed against the parents, but thankfully no serious injuries. In North Carolina, a small town is in a state of emergency, recovering from a tornado that tore through the area. It was an F1 tornado that touched down. May sound small, but it did a lot of damage just after 5 o'clock last night. Video of the storm caught the funnel cloud tossing debris, ripping branches off of trees. It brought winds of up to 110 miles per hour. One person suffered a minor injury, but that's it. Fortunately, no one lost their lives. A runaway bull shuts down traffic. Who police turned to when they couldn't get the nearly 2-ton animal under control. That's coming up next. But first, here's Brandon watching over these rain threats.
Gives me a couple of minutes to clean up my jokes. That's good. Tracking some showers here, but let me step out of the way, or not. More wet weather down south is moving in. So it gets from scattered to soaking, and wait until you see the rain continue into Thursday. Next.
It's been nearly 6 months since Danielle Stislicki disappeared.
You cannot just vanish off the face of the earth.
Now Danielle's parents open up about what they're doing to get through this.
The only way that I can pay them back is to try and find solutions to reduce this.
It also brings me peace in the morning as I drive that hour and a half to work, that she's with me.
The Stislickis, the search for answers and justice continues. Our candid conversation tonight at 11.
Are you an injured?
Welcome back, everybody. Time to get a check of this forecast for today and the rain threats for anybody that might have some outdoor plans.
Do you know of anybody? Anything?
Maybe about 60 ladies at the Detroit Golf Club. It's golf league tonight for girls.
And baseball, softball, tis the season. Everybody's getting going, and there are some obstacles out there, but between now and 7 p.m., no extreme washouts here, so don't go canceling your plans if you get a early afternoon shower. There will be some breakage in the action as we head through the later parts of the afternoon, and then, hold on. Tonight gets heavier. 65 degrees in our metro zone, Metro Airport, 66 in Ann Arbor. Good afternoon in Pontiac. The Waterford Airport, 68 degrees. The east winds are keeping things feeling a little bit cooler. Obviously, the clouds are thickening up as well. And here are some of those showers. Everything's coming up from the south, and it has been soaking the last several hours in parts of southern Ontario. And now in Monroe County, we're seeing decent rain here. But notice as the energy over Lake Erie, this rain hits land and it loses some of that energy. So a lot of that lightning is no longer an issue in Monroe County, but soakers driving south I-75 be careful once you get into central and southern Monroe County. Also, we've had some showers in parts of Livingston County, bone dry in other parts of the area. And again, that's sort of what will be the case here as we head through the next several hours. 70 degrees. We were already close to that number, but if we get a couple of hours without any rain here, could be close again to that number. But our morning glimpses of sun are fading away. Some soaking showers still possible in parts and bone dry in others, but later tonight after 7 or 8 p.m. some of the heaviest rain comes in and will be going on through the overnight hours. You can see the pipeline goes all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico, but this little swirl right here across southern Indiana and down toward Nashville along the Ohio River is pivoting up, is bringing that rain our way. Here we go at about 8 o'clock, and this is when, again, we expect some of that activity to begin increasing, and we see some of these yellows and oranges, indications even on the computer model of some heavier bouts of rain through tonight. And notice it just keeps coming through the overnight. The area of low pressure, or the center of the storm, will be east of the area tomorrow, but it's going to pinwheel more showers back here for at least the first maybe half plus, maybe through 2-3 o'clock tomorrow, especially the eastern half of our viewing area. Keep the umbrellas handy nonetheless. We have dry day Friday for you. That's good. Friday and Saturday daylight hours are dry and back in the 70s, but tomorrow again will be wet, coming and going with 60s. That's it. And unfortunately, Rhonda, toward the end of the holiday weekend, Sunday and Memorial Day, some scattered showers around.
All right, Brandon, thank you. And we hope that you will join us tonight. We have something special coming your way. It's called Detroit All In. And Bernie Smilovitz is sitting down and talking to Pistons head coach Stan Van Gundy, also Tigers catcher James McCann, the Red Wings Justin Abdelkader, and the Detroit Lions quarterback Matt Stafford and his wife. The significant other is sitting down as well to get a kind of an up-close and personal look at these athletes and coaches off the field. And you can watch it at 8 right here on Local 4. Tune in for that. So a runaway bull in California shuts down traffic for an entire neighborhood. The rogue bull was first spotted running down the street. The San Diego Sheriff's Office was the first to arrive on the scene. When they didn't have much luck getting the bull to stop or move or go where they wanted it to, animal control was called in. However, despite their efforts, it was the work of the horseback riding citizen that ultimately was able to lasso the angry bull. Nice to know that they were around. Well, two former classmates joined together to solve a 37-year-old mystery, how they were able to find the rightful owner of a class ring that was lost decades ago.